All right, what's up, seniors? You can see our beautiful Christmas tree. Let's see what we got going on. So this is for Wednesday, the 16th of December. You can see here on my screen, I'm just going to cover what I'm asking you to do. It's pretty fun. I had some fun with it. Got to learn a little bit more about my poet. Really got to kind of dive into his work in a way that I haven't done, just listening for fun. So you scroll down. I pretty much copied this exactly from last Wednesday. It just changed some stuff. So there's a link to when I introduced the project like 2 Mondays ago. So there's that link. Today we're going to be working on 3 slides. They're pretty easy. If you just sit down and do them, maybe 20 minutes, I don't know. You're doing this on your choice poet that you picked earlier. And if you do need help with anything from 11 to noon on Wednesday, I'll be in our regular Zoom, and you can swing by and I can help get you caught up. Other than that, that's probably the last time we can do office hours until we come back from break. So if you need help, show up, or shoot me an email and we can meet after class or something. Here's the link to my example PowerPoint. I'll go through it with us in a second here. And yeah, there's the info about office hours. So let's go back to the beginning. So remember last week you did your poet name, a picture of your poet, and a couple of reviews about their work. So I'm doing David Diggs, who is part of the rap trio Clipping. Then you're doing a short little biography, just answering these questions. You can really make this as nice as you want. If you want a 4 for your grade for this PowerPoint, right, you're probably going to want to put in some effort, right, make it look pretty. It can't have a white background. You need, maybe more pictures than you want. You want good descriptions, obviously not copy and pasted. So like this, I just had Wikipedia up and then I just typed it in my own words, right? Just don't copy paste if you want a 4. If you do copy and paste, try to cite your sources. So this week, what we are doing we are actually examining some of their works. So you are picking 3 poems or songs if you're doing technical more. And you are choosing 3 stanzas from 3 different songs. So a stanza is basically a paragraph of a poem or a song. And you are going to zoom into some of the distinct features, really what makes that stanza stand out. So maybe it has a crazy rhyme scheme. Maybe it's using, allusions to other, I don't know, poets or things, metaphors, symbolism, right? Maybe they keep talking about a jaguar and you're trying to figure out what a jaguar represents. Maybe they're using good imagery and you can picture exactly what they're writing about. Maybe they're talking about a theme, maybe they're talking about a theme of, grief as a form of self-expression, and you're really trying to dive into what they're talking about with grief. Or maybe the words they're choosing are very distinctive and interesting. And so each stanza is going to be a slide for a total of 3 slides. So here, because I'm doing a music artist, I linked the YouTube video, and then I went through some of the things that he does really well. He uses some really cool verbs. He uses eyes as a symbol. So eyes come up twice, and 2 of the verbs are distinctly about the eyes. So I think he's talking about eyes, talking about mortality, right? And eyes are this way to know if somebody's alive or not. He uses the S sound, so that's called consonants, is when you have a repeated consonant. So consonants are letters that aren't vowels. So this line, homie's eyes slide to it, then the walls split. So we have this eyes, ends in S, slide, starts with S. So when you're rapping, you can just say I slide, right? And you're saying 2 words, even though when you say it, it's just kind of 1 word, walls split, just like that. So I think he's very intentional about the language, which is cool. And he's using present tense, right? This song is about a house getting obliterated, and it's in the present tense, so you're right there with it as it's happening. So those were the things I noticed. You can see I use highlighters to highlight some of the things I noticed. This is a song. It's more like a spoken narrative piece. It's kind of cool. So there's the video there. I talk a little bit how he sacrifices clarity for rhyme scheme, right? So if you were just to read it, it doesn't really make sense. But when you hear it, like it still sounds good enough to where your brain can kind of bridge the gap to what he's talking about. Again, it's in real time, right, to help kind of communicate the pressure, like the tenseness of the scenario. It reveals character information as plot elements, which I think is kind of cool, right? It doesn't say that the character is getting older. It says like, as he's running, he's realizing that he doesn't remember the last time he ran or the last time he sprinted. And it's like him realizing that he's getting older. So that was kind of a cool way to do that. It shows, so this whole story too is about a guy coming home and realizing like his house burned down. Right, so instead of saying his house is on fire, it says like he's noticing ash and there's a glow, right? Instead of just saying his house is on fire. And I think what's really cool is that it doesn't try to explain itself, even though it's obviously trying to talk about a lot, right? It doesn't explain every little detail, which your poetry definitely does not have to do either. And this last one is a song called All Black. It's from this album, Splendor and Misery. It's really cool. It's from the point of view of a artificial intelligence like pilot system of this intergalactic slave ship. So obviously the whole song and album is a, kind of a critique on that and a retelling of that story. It uses really evocative, almost, archaic verbs like died, bleed, kill, pumped, spews, grinds, stumbles, right? All of those kind of not violent, but kind of like unsettling verbs. It has a pretty constant couplet rhyme scheme, right? Just different, persistent, control, vitriol, night, lights, eats, beats. But you'll notice it's not every line, so it's kind of this unique rhyme scheme. It uses a lot of O sounds at the end, more, ignore, processing power, shower, some sort. It references Kendrick Lamar, right? So that's an allusion. It's alluding to, it's not even alluding, it's just referencing. And it uses anachronisms. So this is an album that takes place in space, but it's talking about how people are dying from fevers. And it's talking about how like he's praying before he's eating. So these very like almost old-timey things are happening on the spaceship in space. So it's kind of paints this dystopian future where even though people have technology, it's in the past. And you see how you can just kind of get sucked in and enraptured by these poems. So this is your job. Obviously, no one else is doing clipping, so this is going to have to be about your own poet. But my presentation is definitely here if you need, to look at an example. But most importantly, come to office hours if you have questions or shoot me an email. All right, we'll call that